Should Instagram stories stay for 24 hours or 48 hours? Yes, this is an interview question asked in a job interview by a big tech company. Watch this video. This video has certain concept that will develop your first principle thinking process. So what's the question? The question is, should Instagram stories stay for 24 hours or 48 hours? If we think of the default behavior of the stories, they stay for 24 hours, right? So how should we go about solving this problem? The very first thing which we need to do is to understand about the Instagram story, how it is different from other form of the content from the user's perspective as well. So Instagram story are temporary full screen video or photos that disappear after 24 hours, right? They are way to share daily moments and spontaneous content with your follower. The spontaneous content is the thing which you need to consider. How is it different from the other form of the content like posts, videos, right? So stories are more like a low fidelity content, which encourage more of a casual and spontaneous sharing of style, right? Because you don't think much while posting a story. People end up putting more and more stories, right? That is why it is more of a casual and spontaneous way of sharing style, right? Now to decide whether it should stay for 24 hours or 48 hours, we need to understand what are the key metrics that will affect when we do this change, right? Now to come up with those metrics, first we need to understand the value of the different stakeholder which they are getting from Instagram stories. From that only we'll be able to identify the key metrics, right? So there are the three stakeholders which are involved. First is content creator. For content creator, Instagram stories providing an alternate mode to reach their followers and keep engaging with them. Second is content consumers. For content consumers, Instagram story help them to connect with their connection passively and drive more engagement, right? Then Instagram itself. Instagram stories increase engagement so that they are sticking to the platform, spending more time on the platform and giving more ad revenue. Basically, Instagram stories create a ecosystem where creators put stories and people engage with them and spend more time on the platform. With this 24-hour constraint, people usually come back in a day to see the new set of the stories. This is very important thing to consider. This will come handy when we thinking about some of the key metrics. Before going into metrics, first see some of the hypotheses. What would happen when we move from 24-hour story to a 48-hour story? Since the story would remain for a longer period of time, in that case, you would expect more engagement per story. That means a particular story will be viewed by a lot more people, will receive more engagement like reaction, replies, right? Because it is staying for 48 hours. And we also expect more stories to get more engagement. Basically, more number of stories will get more engagement, and per story will also get more engagement. That is the thing which we are expecting when we move from 24-hour story to a 48-hour story. On the flip side, it can also happen that people do less number of sessions because now people are not feeling that urgency to come back. Because I've already mentioned, in case of 24 hours, people have this kind of FOMO and come back every day to see the next set of stories. Also, it may happen that now users start posting less because they know that the story will stay for a longer period of time, so they are no longer putting very casually, and the number of stories posted per creator may also decrease. This is the flip side. Quick pause, if you are still watching this video, that means you have gained something. Please subscribe to our channel for more such content. So back to the question. So what I was saying, there is a positive side of the story and the negative side of the stories as well, right? So how we will decide what we should do? Should we stick with 24 hours or will we should move to 48 hours? So for that, we would need to do A/B testing. And for A/B testing, we need to clearly define our primary metrics, North Star metrics, right? The North Star metric should be average number of engaged stories per day. This would be the North Star metric for Instagram story. We have already discussed in the previous videos as well. So whatever we do, we need to take care about this North Star metric. Now we need to divide this North Star metric into L0 levers. So that would be daily active creators multiplied by stories per creator per day multiplied by engagement rate on the stories, right? Let's see some of the critical metric, that is daily active user. Why it is important? Because we need to see how this feature is affecting our top line metrics. Other metrics would be sessions per user or time spent per user on the platform. These are the platform level critical metrics which we need to understand how this feature will be moving this metric. Because let's say Time spent on the platform will define how much ads the people will be seeing, and this will affect our monetization revenue, right? Other primary metrics for this experiment would be number of users engaging with stories, number of stories engaged per user per day, and average number of engagement received per story, right? These one of the critical metrics which we'll be seeing after this experiment. Now we have defined our key metrics. Let's see what would happen. What is the hypothesized impact on this? Basically, what we are expecting when we move from 24 hour to 48 hours. Because the story will be available for 48 hours, we expect number of engagement per story to go up, right? Number of stories engaged per user per day should also increase. And number of user engaging with story should also go up because it is staying for 48 hours. People are getting more time to engage with that story. So more number of users will engage with more number of stories, and per story will get more engagement. This is what it is telling here. That would mean number of stories getting engaged should also increase, right? Metrics like stories per creator per day. This might go down because people become more conscious while putting the stories because it is staying for 48 hours, double of that current window. That is why we need to check this metric, the directional movement of this metric after the A B testing. Other metrics like daily active user, I think it should stay neutral, but session per user may go down because now people don't feel that urgency given the fact that stories are some sort of FOMO driver for Instagram and it stays for 24 hours, right? So we think it can go down. This also affect the time spent on the platform. So we are not sure of this as well because people are doing less number of sessions. It can happen that people are spending less amount of time on the platform. So we need to check what is the directional movement of this metric after the A/B testing. If we think about the daily active creator, it should also stay neutral. So the North Star metric of number of engaged stories per day, we need to check. We expect it to go up, but we need to check after the A/B testing what is the movement of this metric. Now let's assume that we have done the A/B testing and we need to clear about the launch and the no launch criteria. Basically, should we launch the 24 hours or should we stay with the 24 hours or should we move to the 48 hours? Right? So how we will decide? We will see some of the key metrics after A/B testing. So average number of engaged story per day should go up. Daily active creators should not go down. Either it can stay neutral and it should not go down. Number of stories per creators should not go down either. If it is going down, it should go down by very minimalistic because it can have downstream impact. If creators are not putting stories, ultimately in the long run, it is harming the platform. So it should stay neutral, or if it is going down, it should not be very significant, right? Number of users engaging with stories should go up. Engagement per story should also go up, and time spent on the platform should not go down because it has the direct impact on the monetization revenue. Daily active users should also not going down because daily active users will define how many ads people are seeing and it will affect our monetization revenue as well. So daily active users should also not going down if we are moving from 24 hour to 48 hours. Sessions per user, it can go down, but it should stay neutral. If it is going down, it should go down by very minimalistic percent, or it should not even go down. If that is the case, if we see these are the directional impact of the metrics from 24 hour to 48 hour, we would definitely want to go for 48 hours. But if we see some of the key metrics like sessions per user, daily active users, or number of stories created per creator, if it is going down significantly, let's say 4-5%, I'm not putting a number, but if it is going down significantly, that means 48 hours is not working fine and we will have to stick to 24 hours. So in this type of question, the interviewer is not expecting a right answer because there is no right or wrong answer. The interviewer wants you to think of the different scenario impact on the directional metrics or long-term metrics or down the funnel metrics. If you are covering every aspect, then you are good to go in this kind of question. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching.